Have you ever realized that an entire town once believed it could break you, and now sits there red-faced with shame, powerless as they watch you stand unshaken? Picture it: the whispers behind closed doors, the sideways glances in the hallway, the subtle schemes meant to diminish you, all designed to make you doubt yourself, to cage your spirit. And yet, despite every attempt to limit you, you remain upright, unbroken, and quietly unstoppable. You were underestimated, maligned, even isolated, but nobody recognized the quiet force that ran through you. Every rumor, every betrayal, every moment of exclusion, they were never the instruments of your downfall. Instead, they became the furnace in which your strength was forged. Each trial, each act meant to harm you only served to fortify your resilience, sharpen your insight, and illuminate your true character. You weren't merely surviving, you were growing stronger in ways that those who tried to suppress you could never comprehend. Now imagine the suspense: who will feel the consequences first? Will it be the neighbors who whispered behind your back? The co-workers who smiled while undermining your every move? The friends who nodded along with gossip but never questioned it? Or the very bullies who thought your collapse would be their entertainment? There's a tension in that question, a magnetic pull that keeps you leaning in, waiting to see the first ripple of reality strike back at them. The irony is intoxicating. Those who once wished for your failure are now forced to face the truth that cannot be silenced. Look around you today. Have you noticed the subtle shift? The people who once doubted your resilience, who laughed at your setbacks or dismissed your efforts, are now confronted with evidence that can't be ignored. They see it in your poise, your confidence, and the quiet power in your presence. They see that you were never meant to be small, never meant to fade, and never meant to bend to their expectations. Every sideways glance, every half-hearted smile, every nod meant to diminish you now reflects their own limitations. You are a living testament that integrity, patience, and perseverance cannot be erased or silenced. For those of us navigating life past 35, this scenario is deeply familiar. We've faced betrayals, dismissals, and quiet sabotage. We've felt the sting of being overlooked, underestimated, or misrepresented. And yet there's a profound lesson in surviving and rising. Your worth is never dictated by others' perception. Your resilience is never defined by their approval, and your power grows in direct proportion to the obstacles they try to impose. Each challenge becomes a classroom, each betrayal a teacher, each dismissal a chance to solidify your foundation. So let's begin this journey together. Over the next chapters, we will explore the 5 stages that have shaped your story, the trials that tested you, the betrayals that revealed the true nature of others, the resilience that transformed your hardships into power, the triumphs that illuminated your unshakable presence, and the light you now radiate, permanent and undeniable. You didn't merely survive the storm, you learned to dance in it, to grow stronger with every gust, and to become the luminous force that reshapes the very world around you. This is your story, and it starts here. You remember them, don't you? The ones who tried to dictate your story, the co-workers who whispered in hallways pretending to be allies while secretly undermining your every move, the friends who nodded along with gossip, never daring to speak a word of truth, even family members who prioritized appearances over your well-being. Each of them thought they could control the narrative, keep you in a cage of doubt and isolation. Every rumor, every sideways glance, every deliberate silence was meant to chip away at your confidence, to convince you that you were powerless. But silence is never neutral. It carries weight, and theirs spoke volumes. Their inaction, their refusal to stand when it mattered, revealed more about them than it ever could about you. They calculated, they measured, they believed that if they waited long enough, if they aligned just right with the crowd, they could see you crumble. They didn't realize that in every moment of watching, every glance filled with judgment or envy, they were witnessing your growth, the quiet, unstoppable expansion of your inner strength. And you saw it all. You understood the intentions behind the smiles, the excuses, the backhanded compliments. You recognized the patterns of manipulation, the strategies meant to make you doubt yourself, and you refused to let any of it define your worth. You didn't internalize their lies. You didn't shrink to fit into the distorted narrative they constructed. Instead, you observed, you reflected, you learned. Every betrayal, every whispered conversation, every subtle attempt to isolate you became a mirror reflecting not your shortcomings but theirs. The more they tried to diminish you, the more their limitations became apparent and the more your resilience grew. This is where the cathartic truth emerges. Seeing the people who tried to harm you exposed for who they really are can feel electrifying. There's a profound satisfaction in knowing that every scheme they plotted, every word meant to cut, every act of passive aggression has ultimately illuminated your unshakable presence. You weren't just surviving their cruelty, you were quietly proving that strength cannot be manufactured, that integrity cannot be undermined, and that their attempts to define you were futile. For those of us over 35, the sting of betrayal is all too familiar. Maybe it was a friend who abandoned you at a critical moment, a colleague who claimed your work as their own, or a family member who chose comfort over confronting injustice. We've all experienced the isolation, the whispered judgments, the subtle manipulations. And yet there is a lesson in enduring it. Your value is never determined by what others say, nor by their inability to see your worth. Every act of treachery becomes a step toward empowerment. Every silence becomes a stage for your quiet triumph. What makes this journey so powerful is how it shifts perspective. The very people who tried to diminish you are now revealed not through confrontation but by the undeniable truth of your growth. Their schemes, their duplicity, and their petty calculations only make your strength more visible. There is a certain thrill, almost poetic in nature, in watching the smallness of their intentions contrast with the magnitude of your resilience. While they spent their energy attempting to erase your story, you quietly built an unshakable foundation that no lie could touch. By the end of this chapter, you and your audience recognize a vital truth: the world may try to throw shadows, but shadows cannot consume light. The betrayal you faced, the isolation, the deliberate attempts to control your narrative, they never defined your capacity to rise. And witnessing the unraveling of those who sought to undermine you is cathartic, yes, but it also empowers. It demonstrates that no matter how calculated the attack, how widespread the deception, how deliberate the isolation, your power, your integrity, and your inner strength remain untouchable. This stage sets the tone for the next, a movement from surviving to mastering, from being defined to defining yourself, from reacting to observing, and ultimately from enduring to thriving. The betrayal was never the end. It was a lesson in perception, patience, and power. And now, as the story unfolds, the audience is ready to follow you into the next chapter, where your quiet, unstoppable growth begins to reshape everything around you. There is a remarkable power in being present without being obvious. You stand among them, moving through the same spaces, engaging in the same routines, yet they do not perceive the force that resides within you. To the outside eye, you may appear ordinary, unremarkable, even invisible, but beneath that calm exterior, your strength is absolute. This is the art of surviving without being seen, of thriving while others remain blind to your quiet mastery. One of the key strategies you have learned is to use normalcy as armor. By appearing conventional, by blending into the background, you give others the false confidence that they understand you, that they can predict your limits. They underestimate you because they judge the surface without sensing the depth beneath it. Every smile, every nod, every step you take carries the quiet authority of someone who knows that true power does not need to announce itself. They are blind to the resilience that has been honed through every challenge, every betrayal, every moment that could have shattered someone less prepared. Patience is another pillar of your strategy. You observe before acting. You notice patterns, motives, and subtle dynamics that the impulsive overlook. Every trial you endure, every whisper and every slight becomes data tools with which you navigate the complexities of human behavior. Rather than reacting with anger or defensiveness, you respond with measured precision. Learning from each encounter, refining your approach and transforming obstacles into opportunities. The world assumes you are merely surviving, but in truth, you are learning, adapting, and quietly shaping your path with foresight and clarity. Equally crucial is your unwavering integrity. You have refused to compromise your principles even when doing so might have offered temporary relief, recognition, or advantage. Authenticity is your shield, and it cannot be duplicated or manipulated, while others operate through deception, half-truths, or performative kindness. You move through life as your unaltered self, and in doing so, you reveal the facades of those around you. People who attempt to manipulate or mislead you find themselves frustrated, exposed, and increasingly aware of the contrast between their duplicity and your authenticity. This strategy of hidden resilience creates a sense of empowerment not just for you, but for those who witness it. As a viewer, as someone over 35 who has experienced betrayal, envy, or isolation, you recognize the opportunity in this approach. You understand that you do not need to confront every slight or announce every victory. There is profound strength in cultivating your inner world and letting the consequences of your character and choices speak louder than the noise around you. The more subtle your presence, the more undeniable your impact. You teach others through action, not argument, and they cannot ignore it. Consider the world around you today. How often do people chase attention, exaggerate success, or manipulate appearances to feel powerful? Your quiet mastery demonstrates a different truth. The measure of strength is not in how loudly it is proclaimed, but in how consistently it is lived. Every act of integrity, every thoughtful decision, every moment of self-discipline builds a reputation that cannot be bought, borrowed, or fabricated. Those who once tried to control or diminish you cannot touch this strength. They can only watch as it grows silently and inevitably. And here lies the deeper empowerment for your audience. You do not need to perform for the world to recognize you. You do not need approval to validate your worth. By simply being who you are, by living your life with patience, discernment, and authenticity, the world adjusts to your frequency. You shape your environment without lifting a finger, and your impact is felt before it is even acknowledged. Every person who underestimates you now serves as a mirror for their own limitations, and your presence quietly shifts the balance of power in ways they cannot comprehend or resist. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. You do not need to be seen to be powerful. You do not need to fight to be victorious, and you do not need to compete to leave an indelible mark. By remaining steadfast, observant, and true to yourself, you have created an invisible strength that influences the world around you more than any loud proclamation ever could. And the most profound realization of all is this: you do not need to prove your worth. The world is already recognizing it silently, inevitably, and unmistakably. And then it happens, the moment every whisper, every sly glance, every calculated slight begins to unravel. The truth emerges from the shadows, subtle at first, like a sliver of light cutting through a darkened room, and suddenly everything changes. The ones who thought they controlled the narrative, the people who thrived on your struggle, who whispered behind closed doors, who smiled while plotting your diminishment, they are exposed. Their facades crumble, their arrogance transforms into visible shame, and the world finally sees them for what they truly are. This is the twist of justice that no amount of manipulation could prevent. What they thought would remain hidden forever, their pettiness, their envy, their duplicity, now stands in stark contrast to your unshakable presence. Every lie they told, every rumor they spread, every subtle act intended to destabilize you has only served to strengthen the foundation of your character. You didn't merely survive their schemes. You absorbed them, transformed them, and built a version of yourself so resilient, so luminous that their attempts to break you appear almost comical in retrospect. The catharsis is immediate and undeniable. There is a visceral thrill in witnessing those who sought to diminish you confronted with the evidence of their own misjudgment. But this isn't about revenge. This is about integrity, endurance, and truth. The satisfaction comes not from seeing them falter, but from recognizing that your power was never contingent on their downfall. Your strength is anchored in your consistency, your wisdom, and your ability to rise without retaliation. You are a living testament to the fact that triumph does not require vengeance. It requires authenticity, patience, and an unwavering commitment to your own path. And as the veil lifts, you see the reactions ripple across the community. Some who cheered at your supposed failures now stare in disbelief. Others who silently hoped for your collapse cannot ignore the magnitude of your growth. Every person who underestimated you is confronted with a reality they cannot unsee. You are the proof that resilience surpasses malice, that integrity withstands deceit, and that patience can outlast cruelty. The silent ones, the schemers, the manipulators, they are all revealed in their true light, and you remain unscathed, untouchable, and undeniably powerful. This is where the sense of empowerment extends to your audience. You, the viewer, are not just watching a story unfold. You are being reminded of your own capacity to endure, to rise, and to shine. Each person watching can see themselves in this narrative. Perhaps you too have faced betrayals, false accusations, or quiet acts of sabotage. Perhaps you have felt the sting of isolation while others thrived on your perceived missteps. And yet, like the story before you, there is a path to transcendence, a way to absorb the trials, learn from them, and emerge stronger than ever. Every challenge you encounter, every false story or sly manipulation you endure contributes to this power. The very efforts meant to diminish you have inadvertently polished your resilience, sharpened your clarity, and amplified your influence. Those who once found satisfaction in your struggles now bear witness to your unassailable presence, the reality that no deception or envy could contain. Your growth becomes a mirror reflecting both your triumph and their limitations. It is in this contrast, the light of your integrity against the shadow of their intent, that the most compelling lessons emerge. And the beauty of it is not merely in your personal victory, it is in the community that rises alongside you. As viewers, as chosen ones, we share in this revelation. We see the patterns, we recognize the pitfalls, and we understand the strategies that allow one to flourish while remaining true to oneself. This is a collective awakening, witnessing the exposure of falsehood, understanding the mechanics of envy and manipulation, and realizing that survival and integrity create a legacy far more enduring than any temporary humiliation inflicted by others. Your triumph is tangible. It is visible not because it shouts, but because it exists in every thoughtful choice, every act of restraint, every measure of consistent strength. Those who underestimated you are forced to reconcile with reality. Every smile that once concealed intent, every handshake that masked envy, every subtle attempt to manipulate the narrative, they are all exposed by the very truth you embody. And for your audience, the message is clear. It is possible to rise above, to remain steadfast, and to shine even when those around you attempt to pull you into shadows. So pause for a moment and consider this. Every person watching has a chance to internalize this journey. Each viewer may have experienced moments where their power, integrity, or worth was questioned, undermined, or denied. This story reassures them that it is not only possible to survive, but to thrive, to turn every attempt at suppression into a stepping stone for growth. By standing firm in your truth, you illuminate a path for others, proving that no act of deceit, envy, or betrayal can diminish the light of someone who refuses to bend. In this revelation, your audience becomes part of the greater story. We witness together, learn together, and elevate one another. Each exposure of a hidden agenda, each moment of truth breaking through lies, strengthens the collective understanding that resilience, integrity, and authenticity are the forces that endure. And as the narrative reaches its crescendo, it leaves an undeniable imprint. Every challenge faced, every betrayal endured, every attempt to diminish you has not only revealed their flaws but has confirmed your unassailable power. Every person watching now carries that lesson. The trials you endure can strengthen you beyond what you imagined. The deception you face can illuminate your true strength, and the world, though it may seek to undermine you, cannot erase the reality of your growth. Each of us as chosen ones is reminded that by rising above falsehood and living in truth, we become luminous, untouchable, and undeniable. As we arrive at the final moment of this journey, it's time to reflect on the truths you've carried, the lessons you've absorbed, and the power you've claimed. You exist fully and undeniably, and in that existence you have proven something extraordinary. You are unbreakable. Every challenge you faced, every betrayal, every obstacle meant to diminish you has become a building block in the fortress of your inner strength. You are not merely surviving. You are growing, evolving, and standing tall because of the resilience forged within you. Each hardship, every moment of doubt or adversity has been a teacher. The experiences that could have crushed someone less prepared instead became the instruments of your mastery. Your power did not arise from taking from others, from retaliating, or from seeking recognition. It grew quietly, steadily from the choices you made to remain true to yourself, to act with integrity, and to cultivate patience, wisdom, and clarity. Every trial was a proof, every failure a lesson, and every moment of betrayal a mirror reflecting the depth of your character. The key lesson is simple yet profound. You do not need the validation of others to define your worth. External approval is fleeting and unreliable. True influence emerges from alignment with your vision, from acting according to your principles, and from living authentically. When you operate from this place, your impact becomes self-evident. Influence does not need to announce itself. It flows naturally from the authority of your integrity, the steadiness of your decisions, and the clarity of your purpose. The world cannot dispute the evidence of your strength because it is reflected in your actions, your perseverance, and the life you have built despite the obstacles. Every challenge you endured increased your capacity for wisdom, discernment, and control. It sharpened your ability to navigate life with precision and authority. No longer are you swayed by the opinions of those who sought to undermine you. No longer are you constrained by the expectations of others. You have learned that true power comes not from bending or breaking, but from standing firm, from mastering your own narrative, and from trusting the process of your growth. And now, as a chosen one, you are part of something greater. You are connected to a community of those who have faced adversity, who have endured betrayal, and who have chosen authenticity and resilience over conformity and fear. Together, this collective of chosen ones grows stronger, wiser, and more impactful. You are not alone in your journey. Every lesson you have learned, every victory you have claimed strengthens the path for those who walk alongside you. So take a moment to internalize this truth. You are powerful, resilient, and undeniable. Stand tall, shine brightly, influence generously, and remember to engage with those who share this journey. Like, comment, and share your reflections and experiences. Subscribe to Chosen and Rising to continue exploring the depth of your potential and to unlock the latent strength that lies within. You are a chosen one. Stand up, radiate your light, and let your influence ripple outward. Every action, every choice, and every word carries the power to inspire, to uplift, and to transform. Go forward with confidence, knowing that the inner strength you have cultivated is permanent. Your wisdom is enduring, and your impact is limitless. This is your truth, your victory, and your legacy.